Hey, welcome to Hatha. I'm way down here. I'm going to get up in a second, but I just wanted to start off with a little reminder that, as usual, you can do anything you need to throughout this practice. I like to have blocks for this and a strap, but you don't necessarily need those. And then you can start this practice in any shape you'd like. You can sit down, you can lay down, whatever works for you. Um, just take a moment to get comfy and check in with how you're feeling in your body. You might notice places where there is tension, spots where you feel maybe a little bit of pressure, the ground beneath you. Maybe you're noticing energy level as well. I say immediately after yawning. Notice energy level. And if there's anything that feels like you might need from practice today, which might change as you go, but it can be kind of nice to just check in. And maybe it's like, oh, I would love to take an extra long stretch for the front of my legs, or take a little longer laying down here, or a bigger breath, like whatever it is. Um, just notice. Start to add a little bit of movement. You can wiggle fingers, wiggle your toes. And then this movement might change and grow over time. You might eventually make your way to a cat cow, or sorry, to a tabletop in order to do a cat cow. So you can have your hands on the floor, or you can take, like stand up, use something like a chair or a um, table, that kind of thing. Hands underneath your shoulders if you're on the floor. Bring your belly towards the floor. Lift your gaze, lift your tailbone. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone. Round or bring your belly towards the floor. Really point your tailbone up, lift your gaze up. Really tuck your tailbone, curl your spine, make a C shape with your back. Nice. And then find a neutral spine. I'm going to take a moment, step your right foot to the right here. I'm going to turn to face you actually. All right, I'm going to use a block underneath my hands so that you can see a little bit better. But we're basically still in tabletop. And then, oh, I should do it this way. And then you're going to step your right foot over to the right. I'm going to move my water bottle. You might just check in that there's nothing like immediately around your foot so that you don't fall or knock anything over. So we're going to be in tabletop here. Can you see the side of my foot? So I'm going to lift the outside of my foot and I have the inside of my foot on the floor. You might stay here as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, rock back. You can either keep your foot on the floor or lift your toes towards the ceiling. Both are fine. Just do the one that feels the best for you. And then once you're done this one, find tabletop with your foot still out around your spine. Tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone. Bring your belly towards the floor. Lift your gaze, lift your tailbone. One more round. Nice. Bring your left foot or your right knee down beside your left. Let's bring knees wide, toes together. You can sit down on your feet for a moment. If that's not comfortable, you can stand up on your knees. If you're sitting on your feet, you can lean back to your hands, tuck your tailbone. So you're finding a stretch to the front of your thighs. If you're here, you might actually keep your left knee on the floor and really think about pointing your tailbone towards the floor and engaging your left glute almost as if you're pressing your knee forwards or pressing your hip forwards. You could also bring this foot forwards if that feels better. So we're still finding lengthening in the front of your hip, just from a different way. All right. Let's take a moment. Do circles for your wrists. And then come back to tabletop when you're ready. Step your left foot out to the side. Same approach. Outer foot might be lifted. You might rock back and forwards. From here, come back over top of your wrists, round your spine, and arch your back. One more round. Nice job. Bring your right knee down beside your left. Let's stand up on your knees. And then we'll actually do a little bit of activation for your hips. I mean, not that we weren't just doing that, but you can just sit or bring your knees or your heel. Oh my goodness. Bring your hips, to a hover over your legs and then lift back up. So just doing 2 of those, hinging at your hips, sending your hips towards your feet a little bit, and then come back up. So finding length in the front of your hips. One more time, hinge. And exhale, come back up. Let's step right foot to the side. If you'd like, this is just basically to help support for balance. Side bend towards the right. Inhale, come back up. We're going to add on an option here. So you can keep your leg extended or your leg lifted, but you're actually going to extend your leg back to kind of how we had it before, leg long, inside of your foot on the floor. And then plant your right hand beside you. So we're kind of in like a supported plank with your right or left knee underneath you. Option to lift your right leg. Maybe you lift your right hand. Set your right foot down, Inhale, come up. Let's side bend one more time over to the right. Come up as you breathe in. Set your right foot down beside your left. You might sit for a moment, pause. Stand up on your knees, step your left foot to the side. First, acting for balance, then we'll side bend towards the left. So I'm using my left elbow on my left knee for a little bit of support. You don't necessarily need to add this step in for this. I just find it a little bit easier to control the depth of the stretch. Inhale, come up. Let's extend left leg. So you have the inside of your foot on the floor. Tap your right hand down. You can use a block underneath your hand too here if you'd like. Left hand might reach up, left foot might lift up. Notice your breath. And kind of take a moment to notice the feeling of the length on in the inside and the outside of your left leg. I'm gonna come back into play later. Bring your left foot down. Let's Come up, side bend one more time to the left. I have my left hand reaching for my left leg, but I'm not pressing down. I'm really light on my fingertips. Inhale, come up. Then you can step your foot to the floor, heel, toe, your foot in front of you. Use your hands on your front leg if you'd like to come to a standing position. And we're pausing in a mountain pose. Take a couple of moments, couple of breaths. Let's bring hands to hips for a moment. I'm gonna have my thumb behind and my fingers in front, where I'll do this. Maybe you can see my pant line. So we're gonna pretend for a moment that you're like from where your hands are below is like a bucket. And we're wanting to pour water out of the front of the bucket. So it's kind of like a cat-cow, but we're only focusing on the lower part of our spine. So you're wanting to tip water out of the bucket, of the front of the bucket. Do your very best to keep your ribs pretty still. Go back to neutral and then pour water out of the back of the bucket. Center. Let's do one more time to the front. And then one more time to the back. Nice job. Find neutral. So the no water spilling out of the bucket. Tip water out of the right side of the bucket. And then neutral. And then the left side of the bucket. Ooh, my back makes weird sounds when I do that one. One more time to the right. Nice. One more time to the left. And come back to center. I would love to know how that felt for you. Did your back also make sounds, or is it just mine? Bring your hands to your hips. Let's stand on your right knee. Left foot can have your toes on the floor to help with balance, or you might lift your leg. Both are great. From here, you're going to do your very best to keep your torso facing forwards, and then we'll press your left knee to the left as if it's pushing up against something. Like you're pressing your thigh up against like a chair that you're moving out of your way. Pause here for a moment. Do your very best to keep pressing your knee to the side. Nice job. Squeeze your left heel towards your glutes and then step your foot above or below your right knee. So a lot more of hip activation there, right? Find a spot for your arms that feels good. I'm going to lift my arms up today. Nice. Bring your hands down. Lift your left foot off of your right leg. So pausing back one more time here, pressing out with your left thigh. Bring your knee forwards, pressing in this time. And then step your foot down. Pause a moment. Let's inhale, reach your arms overhead. You might interlace your fingers, release your index fingers, or bring your hands behind your head. Separate your feet for a moment. Squeeze your shoulder blades to spine. Press your feet down. Puff your chest up. Finding length in your spine, kind of a lift in the middle of your chest up towards the ceiling. If you're doing this option with your arms up, keep your ears between your arms. You're just checking in that you're not like dropping your head back. Inhale, come back. Arms at your sides. All right. Excuse me, sorry. So you're gonna stand on your left foot this time. Whether your toes are on the floor or not, again, doesn't matter. We're lifting or bending your knee to whatever degree you'd like. Imagine you're pressing your thigh up against something. You're pushing a chair away or something like that. Press out to the side. Keep everything else still facing forwards. Keep pressing left thigh out behind you. Nice job. Squeeze your heel towards your glutes. Step your foot to your right leg, to your left leg. Arms wherever you'd like. Sorry, if I don't, this weird, I don't know if it's a sickness or I think it's just that it's pretty dry in the winter here. And I think it's been my throat's been really dry. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I won't give you the whole story. You know, if you've been here with me this week, it's been a weird health week for me. I don't know, all sorts of weird things going on. How are you doing? How's your week been? You don't have to answer right now, but I would love to know. Okay, let's lift your right foot off of your left leg and we'll move your shin to the side any amount. You can tap your toes down again if you'd like, pressing your right knee out and then press it forwards and in. Step your foot down, pause. Wiggle around if you'd like. All right, so we're gonna do something a little bit different than normal. We're gonna move right into a triangle pose. And there's a few things you might do for this. If you have like a block or a chair or a table, like coffee table, something around you that can help with balance, that'd be great to have. And just so that I can try to explain it as much as I can. So everybody, I'm gonna pretend this is a coffee table or your chair or whatever. Can you see it? So we're going to be closer to it and then we're going to move a little bit further away from it. If you're using a block, you don't have to do that moving forward, moving back part, right? You can just you'll see what I mean in a minute. So I'm going to bring my right foot. Oh, you can't see because there's blocks behind it. I'm sorry. One second. Is that better? Maybe? Okay. So I'm going to step my right foot close to it. Depends on the object you're using. Maybe it's like right in front. Maybe you can step your foot beside it or past it. I'm just going to set my foot close to it. We'll do a straight-legged version of triangle pose. So let me take my socks off. Let's get serious. Okay. So we're here. My left toes are pointing towards you. My right toes are pointing towards the side of the room. Already, we have a very similar shape we've seen in a few different places, right? In terms of one leg being externally rotated. My one foot is pointing to the side. So you can bend your knee if you want to. I'm going to instruct the straight leg version. So we're actually going to imagine you have something right at your right hip crease, and it's gently pulling your hip back. Can you see that difference when I do that? You can imagine that, say there's a strap right at your hip crease, and it's pulling up and back. So my left hip is higher than my right, almost like I'm sticking my left hip out and up. From here, hinge at your torso. So you're basically just reaching towards the floor. You can have your hand on your leg. I wouldn't push on your knee. It's probably not going to feel very good. You could also reach for your support if that feels comfortable and hinge a little further. Doesn't really matter, but we're doing our best to face your torso to the side of the room. And your left hand can be lifted towards the ceiling if you want. This is our version of triangle pose for today. You might look up. That feels good. Imagine pulling your feet towards each other like 0.5% because you're still letting your left hip lift up. So really you're dragging your right foot towards your left foot. Nice job. Let's bring your right hand to your right hip. Add a little bend to your knees. And this is where, if you're not using furniture for your support, you don't have to really go anywhere. You can move your support. You know what I mean? You're using a block. So I'm just gonna, as I said, instruct it like we're using something bigger just in case that's what you're using in your space. So I'm gonna heel toe my feet or step my feet closer together. And then I'm gonna step maybe like an arm's length-ish away from the support, more or less, right? Then I'm going to keep my right toes pointing to this side of the room, right hand to right hip. We're going to do a balancing shape that's kind of tying together a lot of the things we've done so far, including that plank, side plank that I told you we're going to come back to later, that sensation. Okay, so I'm too excited about this. Bring your left hand to your left hip. I'm going to look down. If you're using a block, you might put it in your hand if that feels helpful. And then you're going to start to lift. You're tipping your left leg up, and your left leg and your torso are staying in about one long line. So you could tip a little bit. I'm going to keep on tipping and place my hand on my support. I'm going to move mine because I like to have mine on the outside of my standing foot. All right, so from here, we're pushing into our right or our lifted heel. You might lift your hand up again if you want to, or overhead. Doesn't matter. So notice the length in your lifted leg. Remember when we had this in the supported side plank? Find that kind of same length, that lift in the inside edge of your leg and the outside edge. Also have length in the both sides of your torso, left side compared to right side. Nice. This is quite a challenging posture. Take one more breath in. Let's soften our standing knee, step your left foot down. And then why don't we come back to a mountain pose? If you would rather do a fold or movement, please do. Great job. All right. Because I'm pretending this is an object, I'm actually going to have to move it. You might turn to face the other direction, which might mean you pick up the phone or pick up your computer and put it the other side. That's fine. I'll give you a second. You have time. Okay, so now we have our left foot forwards. So again, we're starting in the triangle posture. So you can have your foot fairly close or beside if possible. But I'll show you this way. My left toes pointing to the side, and then I'm going to step back. So I'm in kind of a wider stance. You can make it as wide as you want to. My right toes are pointing towards you. We're pointing towards this front of this space. Then we're going to imagine we have that like little rope at our left hip crease, like right at the top of your thigh where it meets your hip. And then that rope is pulling your left hip crease back and kind of up a little bit, it feels like. So your right hip lifts higher than your left, almost like the little tipping water out of a bucket we did before. So if you're doing that here, there's a lot of water coming out of the left side of the bucket. Okay, great job. Okay, so from here, you can have your hand on your leg, just not like pushing on your knee, because again, common sense, it's not going to feel very good. You might have your hand on your support. If you're using a really high support, like a counter or something, you might have like be reaching out or have your elbow on it. Let's check in with your left toes. From here, maybe you lift your hand, your free hand, your right hand towards the ceiling. Finding this little bit of a twist, turning your torso towards the side of the room. There's lots of length in the back of your left leg, rooting through your right foot. Bring your right hand to your right hip, little bend in your left knee. Inhale, come up. Then, if you're using a bigger object, I'm going to heel toe my right foot a little closer to my left. And then I'm going to step about, what did I say? An arm's length away. And then because I know that I like to have it more to the outside, I might then step forwards. I'm going to do the other way and move my support because I want to be able to actually still see you. Okay, so from here, You might have your right hand on your right hip, left arm. I like to reach almost like I'm reaching towards support right away. From here, start to tip your right leg up. Torso tips forwards. It's staying in one line. You might tip as far as to reach your support with your left hand. Option to lift your right hand towards the ceiling. Find that same sense of length in your right leg. And notice if you're locking your standing knee. Breathe as slowly as possible or as controlled as you can. You might also look up, facing the side of the room. Doing great. Step your right foot down, come up. Maybe pause in mountain pose, but with your feet wide this time. Just taking a couple of big breaths. You might shake it out if you want to shake it out. Nice job. Find where is the front of your mat. Does that sentence make sense? No. You know what I meant though. Find the front of your mat. We're going to bring your knees wide, toes together, just like we did before. Lean back to your hands, maybe using blocks underneath your hands. Lift your hips up, tuck your tailbone, set your hips back down. You can do one side at a time, like lay to one side and hold your foot towards your glutes. And then really slowly come back up. We'll sit to your glutes, sit to your bum, and lengthen your left leg. Bend your right knee. Bring your left hand alongside your left leg. Turn your torso towards your right knee. Side bend towards your left foot. Option to reach your arm overhead. Inhale, come up, plant your right hand behind you. We're gonna option for joy pose. So in joy pose, your left heel will be on the floor, your right shin will be on the floor, and then everything else lifts up towards the ceiling. So I'm gonna lift up. I like to reach my lifted hand, my left hand up overhead too. And then set back down. Switch your feet. Right leg long, left knee bends. Right hand alongside right leg, turn your torso towards your left knee. We've been doing a lot of like twists, this kind of lengthening spine. So now we're going to round it over to the side, finding a stretch in the side of our body, which just did a lot of supported us a lot today specifically. Let's inhale, come up, plant your left hand behind you, lift your hips up, joy pose. And then set your hips back down. This time, we'll bring your feet closer together. I don't often teach this forward fold. I'm going to be honest because I don't really like it. But today, we're coming into it for a reason. If you hate it, you can ignore the reason. It doesn't matter. You don't have to do it. Okay, first thing you want to check in with is your low back. One thing that can happen is it's kind of like rounding, where it almost feels like I'm being pulled back. A couple of things you can do. One of them is a little hands-on. So if you don't like this option, just ignore it and we'll get to another one. First one is to use your hands to kind of move the fleshy part of your glutes out to the side. So you can feel your sits bones, you can feel kind of bones underneath, you know what I mean? It's a bit more solid. If you don't like that, you can imagine walking your hip back and then pull forwards. Let me try to do that one more time so you can see. So I'm lifting my hip, pressing it back, like putting it back, and then I'm pulling forward. So basically using the floor to do the same thing. If neither of these is helpful, you can also roll up your mat and then sit on that. So your hips are a little elevated. Okay, from here, we're just gonna first, why don't we lean back to hands for a moment first? To keep the same thing with your spine. Let's squeeze your knees, your legs, your toes towards each other. So we did a lot of activating the opposite way. So we're just taking a moment to squeeze knees in, getting in touch a little bit with the inside of legs, and then relax. We did work those as well. Don't worry. Squeeze in one more time, and then release. Let's bend knees a little bit, if you'd like. Lift your arms overhead, breathe in. And then you might fold forwards. What I'm going to do is separate my feet a little bit more and then use my hands to actually bring my belly forward so that it's on the inside of my legs. That way, when I'm folding, I'm not just focused on like squishing my body. You know what I mean? It's not the most comfortable. So you find what works for you and then fold forwards. You might lengthen your legs if you'd like to, and then I'm just going to separate my feet because I really don't like the forward fold with feet really close together. Walk your hands back up. Let's bring the bottoms of your feet to touch. Sit tall as you breathe in. Fold as you breathe out. You might round your torso. Lift back up and sit cross-legged for a moment if you want to, or you can just, chill and sit in whatever way feels good. I'm going to sit on a pillow actually. All right. So I'm going to offer up a breathing exercise. You can ignore it altogether, or you can incorporate it if you want to. I would do this upright. It's not the most comfortable laying down, and I would avoid this if you have any kind of tummy pain, or if you're pregnant, or if you're already feeling on the more anxious side of things. So the first thing we're going to do, which can sometimes be the scariest, is to relax your belly. Still keeping our torso upright or still having, a little bit of space in the front of your chest. You're just letting your belly relax. This might just be your practice, letting your belly relax as you breathe. Actually, let's let that be the practice. Let's let the breath work be focusing on your ribs, expanding as you breathe while letting your belly be relaxed. It might still, like when you breathe out, it might still naturally come in. Like it might be a bit of a coming closer together. That's totally fine. And you might have moments where you still kind of notice like you're pulling it in. That's also fine. But we're just practicing letting your belly be relaxed, finding length through the back of your neck, space in the front of your chest. So we're sitting, what some people would say, sitting proudly, and we're letting our belly be relaxed. If you want to, I'm going to do this with you. You can even bring your belly out. I haven't done this while I'm teaching before. It feels really empowering. And I hope it feels empowering to you too. Just let your belly exist. Let your belly take up space. Let your breath move in your body. Let your chest still have space. You're not curling away. You're not hiding away. You can stay with this if you want to, or you might move into your final resting pose, which might be laying down. Maybe you still have your belly out. Feel like I'm going to interrupt your final resting pose for a second. I feel like I need to get some like cute sports bras so that I can just do class like this. I don't have any that I can wear for a class. So I'll have to try to figure that out. If you heard all those weird sounds, my body just made the little gurgles and hiccups, but I apologize. Nothing but interrupting your final resting pose today. As we're wrapping up, I would love to encourage you for a moment to bring your hands to your belly, thanking your belly for existing, whatever capacity you can. And I just want to say thank you. I'm getting really cold. I'm going to bring my the shirt down. I just want to say thank you for your trust in this practice. I know this kind of thing can be vulnerable, movement in general, and trying new things, and also bringing your belly out. And I just really appreciate your trust. And I mean this, even if you didn't end up doing it. I appreciate you a lot, and I hope that you have a really fantastic day. If you have questions or feedback or requests for future stuff, reach out anytime. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you soon.